HIMARS missile attack Ukraine destroy all Russian military units with a single shot in Soledar. Ukraine decimated an entire Russian military unit with a single HIMAR strike in Soledar, which has become the fiercest battle on the front line of the war. Ukraine took out around 25 Russian troops with a single strike after tracking a military unit to a house in Soledar. The small salt mining town has seen the fiercest fighting of the war in months. The footage of the attack raises questions about the Russian tactics after the troops were easily tracked overhead by Ukrainian forces. In the clip, the Russian forces can be seen clearly walking along a train track in the snow-covered terrain. The armed unit was then tracked to a building that the Russians used for shelter. The Ukrainian forces simply blasted the house with a HIMAR missile, wiping out the entire building in a single strike as smoke billowed into the air afterwards. Users on Telegram claimed that the men were Wagner Group troops. One of the pro-Ukrainian media, which monitors the front line, tweeted the footage. It added, tracking of a Russian military unit and subsequent HIMARS/M270 strike at their location, Eastern Front. The HIMAR strike comes as conflicting reports persist about the fate of Soledar. On Friday, Russia announced that it had taken control of the salt mining town in eastern Ukraine, in what would be a rare success for Moscow. However, Kiev said its troops were still holding on and counterattacking in the town, with the Ukrainian military spokesperson Serhiy Cherevadii reporting ongoing battles. Speaking in his nightly address on Friday, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said the battle in the region continued to rage and avoided any reference to Russia's claims of control. The fight over Soledar as well as Bakhmut in the east of Ukraine has descended into some of the bloodiest fighting of the war so far. Andriy Yermak, head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, said that Soledar is Verdun for 21st century, referencing the longest and bloodiest battle in the First World War. Regional Governor Pavlo Kyrylenko said on Thursday that 559 civilians, including 15 children, remained in Soledar and could not be moved out. If Russia does capture the town, victory would allow its troops to push on to the nearby city of Bakhmut and cut off the Ukrainian forces there. The battle, however, has also opened up a rift between regular Russian forces and the Russian Wagner paramilitary group as they both battle to claim credit for the victory. Ukraine's Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov said that Wagner needed victory in Soledar to deliver some kind of proof to declare they're better than the regular armed forces of the Russian Federation.
Все, що лишилося від ворожої бронетехніки.
Ukraine's military said late Wednesday that Russian forces had suffered huge losses in the Soledar fighting. Russian forces used jets, mortars, and rockets to bombard Soledar in an unrelenting assault. Soldar's fall, while unlikely a turning point in the nearly 11-month war, would be a prize for a Kremlin starved of good battlefield news in recent months. It would also offer Russian troops a springboard to conquer other areas of Donetsk province that remain under Ukrainian control, such as the nearby strategic city of Bakhmut. Donetsk and neighboring Luhansk province, which together make up the Donbass region bordering Russia, were Moscow's main stated territorial targets in invading Ukraine, but the fighting has settled mostly into a stalemate. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov stopped short of declaring the municipality's capture, telling reporters Russian forces had achieved positive dynamics in advancing in Soledar. "Let's not rush and wait for official statements," he added. In an apparent recognition of battlefield setbacks, Russia's defense ministry announced the demotion of the head of Russian forces in Ukraine after only 3 months on the job. Russia's top military officer, the chief of the military's general staff, General Valery Gerasimov, was named as the replacement for General Sergei Surovikin, who was demoted to deputy. Soledar, known for salt mining and processing, has little intrinsic value, but it lies at a strategic point 10 kilometers, 6 miles, north of the city of Bakhmut, which Russian forces want to surround. Taking Bakhmut would disrupt Ukraine's supply lines and open a route for the Russians to press toward Kramatorsk and Sloviansk, Ukrainian strongholds in Donetsk province. Soledar's fall would make holding Bakhmut much more precarious for Ukraine, Michael Kaufman, the director of Russia studies at the KAN nonprofit research group in Arlington, Virginia, noted. The war of attrition, with heavy casualties, may make a Russian victory as deadly as a defeat.
Хватит его, нет?
Выстрел!
Мій досвід